What's going on, you lovely people? Frank Valkyria. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. I apologize in advance for my voice. We got Rona second round going, but I'm alright. Just a little bit of flu. Luckily, he's hitting lighter than last time, I have to say. But still a little bit of annoyance. Anyhow, first of all, thank you for the support you show every day. I really appreciate that. We got some news to talk about. I have to say I'm a little surprised about this. Maybe because I had the prejudgment about it. Maybe because I know that he was fired from the House of Cards series that he was very famous for because of alleged ass misconduct, and he's confirmed to have to pay 31 million. That's a lot of money. So that's an interesting part here. It seems like that there was an investigation because on the set or into the series because of this behavior that he was displaying towards a production assistant, including a production assistant and multiple young men. So I'm not sure, like, I suppose this money has to be paid for the damage they created. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that they have to do anything with the allegations, I suppose, but more because they chose to fire him and therefore they created damage to the series, to the whoever, Netflix or whatever. So anyway, Kevin Spacey declares justice was done after being found not liable in Anthony Rapp SAB lawsuit. Kevin Spacey was found not liable of $40 million in civil trial. Jurors reached a verdict Thursday. I read that it took around 80 minutes. So in terms of verdict, seems like they were pretty quick. There were like 5 women and 4 men, something like that. 5 men and 6 women in the jury, highly educated. They came to the verdict in around 80 minutes. The lawsuit centered around this incident that supposedly has happened in 1986 when Rapp was 14-year-old and Kevin Spacey around 26 or so, and he invited him to his house for a party and allegedly convinced him to go to the bedroom, and he sort of laid on top of him until he sneaked out of the room. Rapp. This is the story, and the jury seemed to have found not enough evidence to, to claim a victory for Rapp, to award the 40 million in damages that he asked. That's a lot of money, by the way. So I was reading here that he left a statement on Twitter, Rapp, after what has happened. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to have my case heard before a jury and thank the members of the jury for their service. Bringing this lawsuit was always about shining a light as part of the larger movement to stand up against all form of SV. A pledge to make on advocating for efforts to ensure that we can live and work in a world that is free from sex, violence, and any kind. I sincerely hope the survivors continue to tell their stories and fight for accountability. Somebody mentioned that the story had a lot of problems, and here we have, I think this is probably an older statement of Kevin Spacey from 2017, where he said, a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I'm beyond horrified to hear his story. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been like 30 years ago, but if I did behave then as he described, I owe him the sincere apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunk behavior, and I'm sorry to the feelings he described having carried with him all these years. This is a story has encountered me to address other things about my life. I know that there are stories out there about me and that some have been fueled by the fact that I have been so protective of my privacy. Anyway, here he's saying that he likes men and women. He has romantic affairs with men, and he considers himself as a gay man. So this is what he said. Of course, it's not he's not condemning himself. I mean, he's not how do you call it? The word doesn't come on. He's not making himself guilty. No, the word doesn't come to me, I apologize. But obviously somehow he's acknowledging that perhaps was a wild time of his life. Like I said, I'm surprised because I think I have already a prejudgment of this. But the fact that the jury found the evidence inconclusive, it's also important because this is why you have a jury and a trial and you present evidence. Because in any case, he said, she said, or he said, he said, it's difficult to untangle that reality. And I'm not saying that on other instances this guy hasn't done other things. I don't know. I'm not taking side, honestly. I'm just reporting what I read. And like probably many out there, after especially that weird video that surfaced, we were all like a little bit like suspicious. I was checking Kat Tamberge, the journalist, I don't know for what journal she writes, that she states like things Kevin Spacey did in court. He cried, he apologized for apologizing, he talked about his abusive father. His lawyer characterized Anthony Rapp as jealous at age 14 of Spacey's interest in other men. The jury sided with Spacey. We have seen this before. Obviously, she's not mentioning Johnny Depp and Amber H, but of course, at the tail of the trial, seems like a little bit, maybe alluding to it. And even though are completely two different things, in my opinion. But again, I don't know why they have this need always to compare JD with everything else that it's happening. And to conclude the story, again, I'm not taking side, but it is important that allegations are proven, because either way can be a lot of damage, for people. And it's good that the court of law works and listens to people. And it's also important for real victim in general to come forward, to share their story, to tell their story, to seek help. I'm absolutely 100% a supporter of that. That's the only thing to do. But it's also important to make sure that things don't get tangled up in emotion or political affiliations or political interest in running agendas or pushing stories or narratives, because it doesn't help anyone. And most importantly, I think, from a human point of view, it doesn't help the victims. So I'm interested in know what is happening for the rest. I don't know if there are other things hovering on this guy, on Kevin Spacey. We can look into it. I would be interested also to connect also with other YouTubers that perhaps know more about this, other law tubes lawyers or something in general. So guys, two things. Thank you for the support. You're welcome to also subscribe to the second channel, Captain Valkyria. I link it at the end. It's good to buffer up also the other channel just in case after what happened yesterday. And again, always spread love. I'll talk to you later. Ciao.